How goes it, everyone? Corey James here with a very interesting, possibly fantastic investigation into arguably the most controversial pharaoh to ever rule over ancient Egypt. The Pharaoh Akhenaten, an 18th dynasty ruler who drastically altered the religious belief system of the ancient Egyptians, abandoning the traditional worship of many gods to the worship of a single mysterious sun disk he called the Aten, which was said to communicate with the pharaoh, who had a very unique way of portraying himself that, if we're just being honest here, looks eerily similar to something else. Throw in a mysterious disk in the sky that apparently communicates with people and, well, you see where this is going. So, let's get to it. Originally known as Amenhotep IV, Akhenaten was the 10th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty, ruling for 17 years from around 1352 BC to 1335 BC. Now, where does this drastic change in religious belief come from? We don't know. What is this sun disk meant to represent? We don't know. Why did the pharaoh depict himself in such an odd way? We don't know. But why don't we know? Well, because upon his death, the remaining high priests of ancient Egypt took every measure possible to ensure Akhenaten would never again be remembered, burying his temples, destroying his statues, and completely removing his name from not only the walls of the temples, but the history books themselves. In fact, any future references of the pharaoh Akhenaten, he would be referred to as the Evil One. Now, for more than 3,000 years, both the name of the pharaoh as well as his 17-year rule would be lost to time and forgotten by the world. However, that would all change with three very significant archaeological discoveries. The first of which occurred in the late 19th century when archaeologists discovered a mysterious tomb in the Valley of the Kings that was completely different from every other tomb ever discovered, containing only a single sarcophagus, that of which bared no royal seal or face, and a very ominous inscription on the wall. The second discovery would come a few years later in 1907, when the lost capital city of the pharaoh was discovered in Amarna, which allowed Egyptologists to connect the unknown tomb to this 18th dynasty pharaoh. However, it was the third discovery that really elevated Akhenaten into the mainstream conversation, because in 1922, archaeologists discovered the most famous tomb of them all, the tomb of King Tutankhamun, who just so happens to be the son of Akhenaten. But we'll come back to that. Now, the ancient priests did a pretty damn good job with erasing this pharaoh from existence, so we have very little to go on, which of course leads to speculation that the sun disk is actually a flying saucer, and Akhenaten is actually an alien, which, I know, sounds ridiculous, even borderline insane. But here's the thing, it could be true. Because you have to ask yourself, where does the worship of a sun disk come from? It can't be from the worship of the sun god Ra, because Ra already had a way of being depicted and a name. Also, Akhenaten didn't refer to the disk as a sun or Ra. He referred to it as an actual physical disk in the sky that he called Aten, and this Aten communicated with him, which, if we're just being honest here, sounds a lot like a modern day description of a UFO encounter. Which brings us to Akhenaten himself. Where does this appearance come from? Because the reality is, it is completely different from every other pharaoh or king ever depicted in ancient Egypt, displaying an elongated skull, oddly shaped eyes, and a drooping belly. That again, if we're just being honest here, kinda looks like E.T. Next, let's go back to the discovery of King Tut and a very mysterious artifact that was found within his sarcophagus, an iron dagger. The dagger of King Tut is easily one of the most mysterious and unexplainable artifacts ever discovered in the ancient world, because first, it was made from iron, which shocked Egyptologists because King Tut ruled during the Bronze Age, 200 years before the Egyptians were thought to work with iron. And second, this wasn't just any iron, it was meteoric iron, or iron that was extracted from a meteor, or more specifically, iron that came from the stars. Now, to craft a blade out of iron that was extracted from a meteor requires knowledge and technology that frankly wouldn't appear for at least another 1,000 years. And if you want to learn more about this mysterious, unexplainable artifact, check out this video right here. Now, I'm not saying Akhenaten was 100% an alien, but I'm not necessarily saying he wasn't either, or at the very least influenced by an extraterrestrial force, because here's the thing. We have a pharaoh that ruled over 3,000 years ago, yet his portrayal and description of a sun disk in the sky almost perfectly matches just about every description of a modern-day UFO encounter. His appearance and overall depiction very much matches descriptions of little gray aliens. His sun somehow possesses an artifact that not only literally came from the stars, but, according to the experts, shouldn't exist, and his entire rule and overall existence was completely covered up and removed from the history books, which sounds eerily similar to what we do today. But hey, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. What do you think? How's it going, everybody? Corey James here. Just wanted to say thank you for checking out the video. I very much hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, do the little guy a favor. Hit the buttons, the like, the subscribe. If you're feeling a little frisky, hit that notification bell. Leave me some comments, suggestions on future videos. Do it all. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.